How do you feel our schools are doing with respect to building security?
I think the schools are doing well. We have in the district, there are cameras. You have to buzz in to get into the doors now. All staff has ID badges, keys, etc. there. So I think with the physical plant, some buildings have some issues to address, but for the most part, I think we're doing as good a job as possible with building security. As I just mentioned, I believe there are some buildings that when you buzz in, there might be too much room for someone to not check in at the office or whatever like that. But overall, I think we're doing well compared to what was when I first started teaching.
In the wake of tragedies like school shootings, school security, building security is obviously on the minds of most, if not everyone in this country. Educators, teachers, community members, families, students, and it's obviously already a priority for the district and the school board. To start, the elementary schools clearly need and want and have expressed a desire to establish secure entrances in the buildings. They want people to have to enter through a secure vestibule and have to identify themselves to school staff before visitors or strangers can walk into the school and access our classrooms or our students. This seems to me like a necessity and a easy way for us to start building security in the schools. I think that's something we can all agree is an important facility issue for us to address, and probably one that most people in the city of Faribault would come together and agree on. Building security and school safety is incredibly complex. There's much, much more we could talk about in terms of building security and ways to secure our buildings. And our nation is grappling with this conversation because it's not easy and it's complex. But while we are doing that work, an important first step is securing the entrances to the buildings, and I think we all can work together to achieve that.
We are not doing very well in building security at all. And that is another area that has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed quite soon. Our society has changed. We just cannot depend on locked doors and thinking that that's going to work. We need to upgrade security to include metal detectors. We need to have some kind of a program with automatic door locks should there be an incident in one of the buildings. And I think this is going to have to be a priority for the school board in the very near future.
Last November, I believe that the building levy went down. But one issue that I brought forward, I still support, is the secure the entrances of all our buildings. It's proven fact that if you can control them into a controlled environment or a section, and before when the police are called, they can respond and keep our people safe. But I tried at the school board after the Parkland shooting to bring that up into a special election here this past spring, and it went down, failed, no one wanted to talk about it. But I'm still going to be bringing it up. My top priority is securing our buildings.
I'm not among the camp of people who believe that active shooters are a real risk to our students. Instead, I think having parents, non-custodial parents who are coming into the building and maybe trying to take their children without permission is far more of a problem. I think we need to figure out measures that promote security and safety from outside elements. Yet I don't believe that necessarily requires a great deal of funding.
It's an area where we can certainly get better. And you hear these just tragic events happen around the country, and you just pray that it never happens in your own community. The good news is we have every building secure at the main entrance. We can use more cameras. We can use better security. The better security would really come from redesigning the main entrances so that every person that walks through that school during school hours would actually have to first go through a staffed office. And for us to do that, we probably have to pass a bond, and that means a taxpayer a vote. And so like I said, the good news is every main entrance is locked. Unfortunately, the only building in our district that funnels all visitors in through a staffed office is the middle school right now. I know we would definitely like to change that. Increase cameras, we'd like to do that. And I think just, you know, the more we can work with law enforcement, the better off we'll be, so.